Welcome to another review for 2024. This time around, it's a fantastic US power metal band called Ruthless. Now, the band are about to release their new album for Fireflash Records. It's called The Fallen, released on the 12th of January 2024. Power metal fans up there, you're going to love this. Check it out. Now, the band were formed back in 1982 in Los Angeles. Now, the band would release their debut EP, which some of you may have. It's called Metal Without Mercy. This was released in 1984 on Iron Weight Records. This was a fantastic EP, which would be followed by the band's debut album called Discipline of Steel, which is an absolute fantastic album. I own this album myself, and I think it's a brilliant debut. If you're a fan of such bands as Malice, Purgatory, who released an album called Tied to the Tracks, and also Wasp, then you're pretty much going to like this band, especially in the early stages. The band are also very much inspired and influenced by Judas Priest, also Accept. And these guys have been a very much influential band for the underground scene. They've done some fantastic tours in the early days and played with some great bands like Liege Lord, Hellstar, Metal Church, Exciter. The list just goes on. Sadly, the band broke up, unfortunately, but they only returned in 2015 with the band released their next album, which was called Eras, released on Pure Steel Records. Now, most of you guys have probably got this album. It was a fantastic comeback album. The band's early stages lineup would be Sammy DeJohn, who's also in the band now, Ken McGee on guitars, Jack Black on bass guitar, who sadly passed away in 2017, Todd Billings on drums, Roland Legman on guitar. So that was the lineup for the early stages of the band. So I'm going to tell you who's in the band now. So the current lineup would be Sammy DeJohn on vocals. We'd have Glen Paul on guitars. On bass guitar, we'd have Sandy K. Vasquez, who was also in the band Bloodlust. Now, Bloodlust did an amazing album in the early 80s called Guilty as Sin. If you've not heard Guilty as Sin, please do so. He was also involved with a band called Last Rites. And also on drums for the new lineup, or current lineup, would be Bob Guitrau on drums. So that's the current lineup for the new album, The Fallen. So this new album contains 10 songs. So I'm going to give you a rundown of the track listings for the new album. We'd open up with The Fallen, Dark Passenger, Betrayal, No Mercy, Deadfall, End Times, Soldiers of Steel, Trucilia, Doom, Order of the Dragon, and the last song will be called Live to Die. So that's songs for the new album. There's 10 songs in total, folks. So I'm going to give you a rundown now of what I think of the songs. Now, I just have to say, before I talk about the first song, I am a huge fan of American power metal, besides the traditional heavy metal that I grew up with. Bands like Bloodlust, Liege Lord, Hellstar, Omen, Savage Grace, all those bands and many, many others were a massive influence to me. So the opening track for this album is called, the title track is called The Fallen. I really think this is a really cool song. It's a fantastic opening track. The opening song also kind of reminds me of a little bit of early Attacker, a band from New Jersey. Also a band called Thrust, who did an album called Fists Held High. This song also reminds me a little bit of Liege Lord and also Savage Grace. It's a great opening song that has kind of elements of early Iron Maiden as well. All in all, this is a fantastic opening song for a US power metal band. Next song, The Passenger. This kind of reminds me of early Hitman, also another band from New York. So if you like Hitman's debut album, I guess you're going to like this song as well. This song also reminds me of another US band from Florida called Power Surge. They did a debut album on Ronin Records. Musically, this is a really well-structured song, and Sammy's vocals are really, really good. The music by the band is also fantastic. There's some really good melodic elements. There's also that element of Judas Priest and Iron Maiden in this song. The next song is called Betrayer. This is a really, really cool song. Folks, I think this should have been the opening song for the album. It's a real slap-in-the-face song. Really heavy melodic US power metal. This song kind of reminds me of early Hellstar, probably something off Remnants of War album. Next song is called No Mercy. This is a little bit less heavier than the one I've just mentioned, Betrayer, but it's a really catchy song with some great melody hooks. This song also reminds me of a little bit of early Omen, especially from the album The Warning of Danger. Production for this album was done by Bart Gabriel. He's done a pretty good job. He's worked with Serifungal, Riot City, and also bands like Hex. All in all, this is a really good, solid US power metal album. I'm going to give this album 4 out of 5. It's definitely a great opening for 2024. So like I said to you before, if you do like a US power metal, totally different from the European metal, this is a great album. Ruthless, the album's called The Fallen, released on Fireflash Records. Check it out, metalheads. Can't go wrong. Thanks for watching. More albums coming this year.